Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're going deep, really deep, into the world of blockchain.
We're going to trace its evolution, from those early days with Bitcoin, all the way to that kind of like that ambitious vision of Web3.
It's pretty wild.
By the end, you'll have a good grasp on how we got here and what it all means.
Hopefully.
And don't worry if you're not like a blockchain expert.
Yeah.
We're gonna break it all down, keep it interesting.
Yeah.
Whether you're a total newbie or, you've been around the blockchain block a few times.
Exactly.
So what's so captivating about blockchain?
Well, I think the thing that really, draws me to this is that it's not just like a technology.
Right.
It's a whole shift, like a fundamental shift in how we think about trust and ownership and really like the structure of the internet itself.
Yeah, and to get that, to really understand it, I think we need to start at the beginning.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's rewind all the way back
in time.
To 2009, the year Bitcoin came onto the scene.
Can you imagine like a world where banks don't control all the money?
I mean, that's the idea.
That was the radical idea behind Bitcoin.
Yeah, it was revolutionary.
It really was. And it was the first time that we saw, these decentralized peer-to-peer transactions, cutting out those traditional financial middlemen.
It's like, it was a digital revolution.
Totally.
And all these developers, they were all over the world. They were collaborating on this open source code, building something that was really disruptive, like right under the noses of the establishment.
Yeah, it wasn't just about the tech, though.
Okay.
It really Bitcoin challenged the whole, foundations of our financial systems. And it ignited all these debates about privacy, individual autonomy, and, the role of government in regulating finance. And I think these are themes that are still shaping the whole blockchain landscape even today.
Yeah. And that leads us to Ethereum, which, came along a few years later.
Yeah.
And Ethereum took things a step further.
For sure.
This is the platform that brought us smart contracts.
Right.
So think about instead of traditional contracts, written on paper. Imagine these agreements that are coded into the blockchain itself.
Right.
And these contracts, these smart contracts, they execute automatically.
When certain conditions are met.
When specific conditions are met, yes.
Yeah, it's like a vending machine.
Yeah.
You put in the right amount of money, you get the snack.
Right, exactly.
It's like that, but with, a much wider range of potential applications.
Yeah. So
instead of getting just snacks, they're executing, these pre-programmed actions.
Right.
When certain things happen on the blockchain.
So instead of, piles of paperwork and weeks of waiting, you could buy a house with a smart contract that instantly transfers the ownership as soon as the payment is verified.
Yeah, that's the type of efficiency we're talking about. Yeah. And I think it goes way beyond even just real estate.
Okay.
Think about loans.
Okay.
That process instantly. Supply chains that track products from, beginning to end.
Right.
Or even digital wills that distribute assets.
Right.
Seamlessly without needing lawyers or probate courts.
That's mind-blowing.
It really is. It's and this is where we get into DApps, decentralized applications.
Okay.
These are kind of like the apps we use on our phones every day.
Like social media and games and
That's
stuff.
not exactly. Social media, games, marketplaces.
But the difference is...
That's the difference.
They're built on the blockchain.
Okay.
Which means they operate independently of any central authority.
So instead of, Facebook controlling all your data and deciding what you can and can't post.
Right.
Imagine a decentralized social media platform.
Yeah.
Where users have more control over their information.
Right.
And how the platform is governed.
Exactly. So that's the idea.
Wow.
To give users more autonomy.
Yeah.
And create a more equitable digital landscape. But it's important to remember.
What's that?
This tech is still pretty young.
Okay.
One of the risks with these smart contracts is that,
yeah,
bugs in the code can have, serious consequences.
Right.
Potentially leading to financial losses.
Yeah, so security is...
So yeah, security and rigorous testing are super important in this space.
It's like any new technology, we need to be aware of those potential downsides.
Yeah.
As well as all the exciting possibilities.
Definitely.
Speaking of excitement, let's fast forward to 2017.
The crypto boom.
The crypto boom. Remember the Bitcoin's price just went crazy. Everybody was talking about blockchain.
Everyone and their grandma.
And new projects were popping up left and right.
Yeah.
It felt like we were really on the cusp of this like technological revolution.
It was a time of, huge enthusiasm and rapid innovation, but it was also a lot of volatility and speculation.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That influx of investors, it brought a lot of attention and funding, but it also created like market bubbles.
Right.
And, raised concerns about like regulatory oversight.
Yeah, it was a wild time.
Oh, for sure.
Fortunes were made and lost overnight.
Definitely.
The media was filled with all these stories about, both the incredible potential, but also the inherent risks. Of this new tech.
Yeah.
And then in 2018...
The bubble burst.
The
market crashed.
Yep.
Skepticism kind of grew, and this so-called crypto winter set in.
Yeah.
It was a reality check.
It was.
For the entire blockchain space.
Yeah.
So what happened next? Did the dream of a decentralized future just kind of die?
With the crypto winter?
No, not at all.
Okay.
You know what? The crash actually forced the industry to mature.
Okay.
And to focus on building a more robust and a more sustainable ecosystem.
That makes sense. So it was kind of a turning point.
It really was a turning point.
Yeah, the industry shifted its focus from the hype and the quick profits to building secure, scalable, and truly useful applications.
Okay.
And as the tech evolved, some really innovative concepts emerged.
Right.
Like DeFi, NFTs,
the NFT,
and the metaverse.
The metaverse. All right, let's unpack these.
Yeah.
First up, DeFi, what is that all about?
So DeFi stands for decentralized finance.
Okay.
It's all about reimagining those traditional financial services.
Okay.
But using blockchain technology. So think about things like lending, borrowing, trading, even insurance.
But without needing banks or other intermediaries.
So instead of going to a bank for a loan,
right,
you could potentially borrow money directly from individuals.
Yeah, exactly.
On a DeFi platform.
And because all these transactions are recorded on a public blockchain,
there's a lot more transparency.
Okay.
And accountability. Plus,
DeFi platforms can offer like better interest rates,
okay,
lower fees
compared to those traditional institutions.
That sounds pretty compelling.
It can be.
Especially for people who don't have easy access to traditional banking.
For sure.
Now, what about NFTs?
NFTs.
I've heard that term. I'm still not entirely sure what they are.
All right. So NFTs are non-fungible tokens.
Non-fungible tokens. Okay.
These are digital assets
that represent ownership of a unique item or piece of content.
Okay.
Unlike cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, which are fungible, meaning like one Bitcoin is the same as any other Bitcoin.
Okay.
Each NFT is one of a kind.
So it's like having a digital certificate of authenticity.
Yeah, exactly.
So like a piece of digital art.
Yeah.
Or a collectible or even a virtual item in a game.
Exactly. And because NFTs are stored on a blockchain,
that ownership is like verifiable and transparent.
Okay.
This has opened up so many opportunities for like artists, musicians, creators to make money from their work in totally new ways.
I've heard about artists selling their digital artwork as NFTs.
Yeah.
Like for millions of dollars. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's why.
How blockchain's changing the art world.
And lastly, the metaverse.
The metaverse.
This one sounds like straight out of science fiction.
It kind of does.
It's still a developing concept, but the idea is to create immersive, persistent virtual worlds where people can interact, experience new things, even conduct business.
So it's like a next generation internet that goes beyond like just text and images.
Exactly.
And creates these truly interactive experiences.
Right. And blockchain is actually playing a key role.
How so?
In the development of the metaverse.
Okay.
By providing the infrastructure.
For secure digital ownership, virtual economies, decentralized governance.
It's incredible to think about all the possibilities these blockchain-powered innovations can unlock.
For sure. But we're still in the early stages of this whole technological revolution.
We are.
Blockchain is constantly evolving.
And we're only just starting to explore its full potential.
This has been an amazing journey so far.
Yeah, it has.
We covered a lot of ground.
A lot.
From the origins of Bitcoin.
To the rise of DeFi, NFTs, and the metaverse.
The metaverse.
But there's still so much more to explore.
So much more.
In the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll get into Web3.
Yeah.
The vision for a decentralized internet.
Okay.
And we'll talk about some of the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead for blockchain.
Awesome. I can't wait.